Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, we have a very interesting video here. This is a 2014 Jeep Wrangler, and it has a frame that has been, the car has been in an accident, so I'm going to replace the frame. The housing, the front axle housing for the differential is also bent, so I'm going to replace that. I have the parts I'm going to show you in a second. But so this is just a starting. Car was in the body shop. This shop has the mechanic side, which is where I'm working on, and then also has the body shop part too. So they already removed the radiator, the front bumper, and whatever you see there is missing in here. And now the car is in my hand, so I have to replace that frame, and it's gonna have to. I'm going to start having fun with it. I have to figure out where to hold the body itself, and start disconnecting all the brake lines and steering box and whatever is attached to the body itself, because I gotta raise up. I'm gonna take the two fenders out to get a better view. At least this side is already removed, and this one is halfway through, as you can see, so I'm going to take that off. But well, let me show you the new parts. That's the frame right there. So as you can see, we have a brand new frame, and also that is the differential housing. I have to remove everything from the other one and install here. Probably the axle shaft on the driver's side is going to need to be replaced, because that's where the accident happened. So sorry to bring the camera down, but I don't want to show the license plate for the car. That's private information. That it's not my information. So I just brought the car inside here, and I'm going to start to work on it. So it's a Wrangler Rubicon 2014. I think it's a 3.6 liter engine, but for what we're doing, it doesn't really matter. Let me see if I can see that in there. Yeah, it is a 3.6 liter. Yep, you can see it right there. So okay, I'm gonna stop removing everything. You can see a couple of things also. I don't know if you guys can cut that up in the video. But one of the universal joint caps is almost out, so you can imagine how big of a hit this was. To bend a housing like this too, it was very, very, very big. But well, okay, let's start having fun with this, and I'm going to be showing pretty much all the procedure, not the removing of the tires, but the most important parts. So I'll let you know, guys, how it go. Alright guys, I had the doors out, and that right fender, which was pretty much hanging because I guess the body shop guys didn't know how to unplug the antenna, and I'm going to show you where is the connection that you need to disconnect in order to get the fender or the antenna out. It's actually behind the glove box, so let's go on a step by step. So I remove the doors. For that, all you need to do is very easy. Just disconnect the harness, which is I'll show you in the car the position. Then you need to remove this nut. There's T50, Torch 50. You remove the nuts, and you have to use a brass punch to kind of like, it's a two-man thing, because you need somebody to put pressure, like bringing up the door while you're hitting with the punch the pins right in here. Just use the bottom one, and that will slide the door out and come out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. A brass punch right here. So right here. So this is the one that I use. So the punch is gonna be the one that gets the marks, and not the bolts or the hardware on the door. So the antenna wire feeds through this hole right here where my finger is. So let me just go back a little so you guys see where I am. So this is where the fender was before, and the wire goes just through this hole, which is kind of like behind the glove box, and that's your blower for air conditioning and heating. So it's very hard to see from underneath, but yeah, I took a mirror and I found the wire, and you can see this is just full of water too, so it's gonna have to be dry. and I was able to pull the connection. So the connection is right behind the speaker area, and it's this wire cable right here. So let me go back a little so the camera, oh, the light is not that bright right there. It's probably that's better. All you gotta do is just push into where my nail is, my fingernail, and then just push into that. Let's see if that focus in there. Yeah, you can see the top wiggle, moving, and that will release the cable, and then just pull it out. On the doors, the door has like a safety string that attaches into this hook right here, and the connector for the door itself. Let me get the light. I just did it by hand. See if I can show that. Hopefully that is showing. I'm trying to do my best in there not to get wet. This side is just probably better if I show the one on the other side, which is dry. So let me go to the other side. Alright, now I'm in the driver's side. Same thing, just push the pins, and let me see, make sure I'm going on the same direction as recording so you guys don't get dizzy. So that's up in there. Hopefully you guys can see the connector. I'm pretty sure it's showing right here. Okay, so that's the connector, and let me show you in the road. It's the same thing, just to press and release the connector. The locking tab is actually in the door wiring harness. So this is the door wiring harness. All you gotta do is just push this thing down and pull the wiring down. Alright, so let me keep going. I'm now going to remove the hood and some of the cowl space in there. I'm trying to just get off much weight off the body of the car before I release it. I'm going to release the body, all the connections and everything, and then leave the chassis or frame with all the suspension, engine and transmission. And then I'm going to push it, roll it back, and remove transmission and so on, and then move it into the other one. But so this is a slow process, and I'm going to be showing pretty much everything, just cutting a little bit of a part so it's not such a long of a video. And probably it's maybe going to be, I don't know, maybe a series of 2 or 3 videos so to be complete. Hope you guys like the video and stay tuned. Alright, now hood is open, so is the cowl space, and let me show you how that comes. So this is like the cover on the cowl space. I didn't remove any bolts on the sides because they were removed by fenders, right? And all you have is like just Christmas trees clips in here. You remove those, and the cowl space just comes off like the cover in there, and then the hinges for the hood are attached in here. I would like to leave the bolts where they belong, so I don't have to be looking as much as like in this case, the hood is going to be back in here, so we won't need those bolts in there. But when you're removing an engine, you put the bolts right back into the heads or so. Like in this kind of things, I like to do that because they're very close to each other. So the paint is better to keep it in there, so you know where the paint once goes and so. So again, I have the doors on my table. I put the hood right here. Got this foam stuff. The hood is not going to touch the floor, and I just put some paper towels in there so it's not going to get a scratch or nothing. The car is going to be here for painting, but I got the license plates in there. I'm going to have to get that removed from the video, but well, doesn't matter. So I'm going to keep going. Now I'm going to remove this radiator support. Looks like it's just 4 13mm or 13mm socket or wrench, whatever you want to do, here on the front, on the top, and then the 13mm solid here. Again, I didn't remove the radiator or nothing like that. That was already removed. I want to show also, a lot of the position of the harness that is going to be removed. I removed this hose connector that goes here. It has this green, and it has this hose in here, so I just going to lay this on top of the engine. Now also removing the harness in the front, which a lot has been disconnected, not by me, but so we have the connector for this actuator that we saw before, that at least the cover is broken. You can see right here, this is cracked, but it's just a cover connector is fine. This goes into this motor that's on the sway bar, so at least it shows a position of the suspension for the computer. And I'm just removing, you know, all the clips like from these little holes. I have this on the side. I also right now disconnect. This is the ABS sensor connector that lies right here. So just, you know, hold that red tab on it and then push into it and disconnect it. And I'm also disconnected the two connections on this differential. Let me show you how that looks, because that's going to be very important when we put it together. So this is the connector for the big one, which is right here, and that goes to inside the differential. And then we have another small one. Let's see if I can locate the light better so you guys can see it too. Okay, so that's right there. We have the two connectors. So just remember, we have a connector with a yellow and black. Sometimes it's hard to record. So this one has a yellow and a black, and that one has a yellow with a green, what it looks to be. Hard to say. Let's see if I can pull this back a little bit more. Spin the connector. It looks like a blue with a yellow. So that will be our connectors for the differential. And see this, that's a shaft in there. You see, look at the U-joint. It's pushed up, so I have to take a look at that too when I take the car apart, I mean the suspension apart. So I want to just save that information because, oh, sorry for the finger in there, because I want to make sure that I route the wiring harness as it was before. This is very important. Put my light right back. So this one has this connector goes right here. I mean this clipped goes right there, so it holds the harness. And this one has another one in here that goes on top of the differential. So just right now, also right here we got this connector, green with the black, that is for this main. So right here, same thing, just, you know, push and release right here. So I'm pulling the harness out because I want to make sure, you know, I can get that whole harness out of my way, which I might not even need to disconnect all this, but well, I'm going to do it eventually. I'm looking at right now that all this harness has it passes here and goes under the car. So we have a main connector in here. Like I said, again, no matter what, I have to remove all that in order to pass it over to the other frame. Okay, now I can see why that shaft is like that. I get a better look now without. So that shaft needs to be replaced as well. It's completely damaged. All that scratching, all that silver part you see is the scratch is bent. So I'm going to disconnect the harness. This is a main connector. So pretty much we can leave everything to, you know, attached to the frame, and then do it when I remove the engine and transmission and then in the body of the vehicle. But my first step is going to be removing the body from the frame, and then work down with just a clear, no body chassis, so I can remove engine, suspension, and so on, and move it on to the other one. But I wanted to show those are specific from connections and locations of the clips and so on, so it's going to be easier for me next time, or for anyone else doing this kind of job. I'm about to remove the rear bumper. I removed this, sorry for the noise on the back, it's just the air hose on the body shop. I removed the connector for the trailer. Just, you know, you just pull down, and then it has all these clips. I move it over to the other side of the chassis, like on the fender. Right here, the wire will go on that side, and then coming down like right here and guys here. I'm also removing is 16 millimeter socket bolts for the rear bumper. One here, another one in here, and two more on each side. right here and right here. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to show you also more of the axle now that I got the car in the air. So this axle got really hit, and it hit the transmission, but I mean the engine, but it's just scratches, as you can see right there. I'll take some of the light out. Sometimes it's better to see without the reflection of the light. I'm going to replace this catalytic converter too, because it got hit. It has a big hit. Let me put my pointer with my finger so you guys can see a little better. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, that's perfect. See right here, and the problem is with the catalytic converter is inside, it's very close to the wall, so it's not made to be hit. So we're definitely going to replace that. The shock absorber on this side is also damaged, and all these bars that hold the front axle is going to be replaced as well. So I just wanted to show you that. So I'm going to keep going. I'm also going to disconnect the tank hoses going into the filling area. I think I'm going to just to disconnect them here and let that part stay, because it has bolts that hold on to the body. So I'm going to disconnect here and then here. I also on the parking brake wires, that this is on the body, on the floor of the rear. These wires go on like that string there just to hold it so it doesn't hit the differential carrier. Okay, so one good advice too is refresh all the treads with like WD-40, because this is going to be, I mean, we're going to have to remove all that. The front, I'm going to stop the video, that's just the noise probably. Sorry for the sharp noise, it's just impossible. I hate the the air gun noise. Okay, so coming back, I was just going to point this. It's like, look at the size of those bolts. They're like 8 millimeters for exhaust. This is a 2014, and look, they're already like so rusted. This is probably gonna have, I'm gonna have to replace them all. That shouldn't be like that. Same thing is in the auto catalytic converter. Look at that. It's already eaten by the rust with 3 years, and it looks like a very clean car. So I don't see a car that is being outside all the time. The frame is clean, everything is clean, but with the heat, that is rust coming from heat. So it's just a bad design. Of course, there's half size or whatever nut was or wrench necessary for that. So come on, Jeep, can you do better with that? Put real bolts, real hardware on your stuff. All right, let me keep going. All right, I want to show a little bit of the process of what I have done already. Well, I removed the rear bumper as I showed you before. And then I went ahead and loose everything underneath that I'm going to be removing. All these bolts right here. As you can see, this is loose, this is loose. The shock absorbers on the back are loose from the top. Not removed because they're holding the rear housing. I also loosen up just the upper part of this side. On the front, I went ahead and did the same thing with all those bars there, and this one they're all going to be removed, replaced. So all those are loose, as you can see. Let me get a little. You can see the nuts are all loosened up. Same thing as the shock absorbers. I released those. The sway bar is also loose from the upper mounts in here, both sides, and the bolt right here too is loose. I also loosen up the steering box. I have to replace everything and put them into the other chassis. So I want to lose as much as hardware I need to, I can, because this is going to have to be done on the floor. So right now I have plenty of space. I can lift up the car up and down, and so it's very easy just to remove the nut and take the bolt out when it's loose. On this one, I'm going to have to put the knuckles or spindles from this one onto the new one, because this housing is going to be replaced. I have to move the differential from this one to the other one. This axle shaft is going to have to be replaced because it's bent. So this is as much as I have done so far. Like I said, I refresh all the bolts and whatever I'm going to be removing with WD-40, so they're not as bad. I haven't touched this muffler ones yet, but I know I have to remove it. Also, these are on this side of this upper arms for the differential. These have these heel shields that need to be installed back because they're protecting this bushing for the catalytic converter and muffler, you know, exhaust temperatures. So you need to make sure that you put those back. I haven't taken the connections from the tank yet. That's going to be my next step. I have already maybe around 3.5 hours in it, so this is a long process. All right, a little bit more progress in here. I removed that cover that goes under the transmission and under the transfer case, and I'm removing all the bolts for the rear propeller shaft. Those are 8 millimeters, and the ones for the cover are 18 millimeter. All the sockets, remember. These are the bolts for the cover, and these are the bolts for the shaft. They have this kind of like a metal connected or bracket connecting 2 bolts at a time. One advice that I can give you guys is that whenever you're going to remove a propeller shaft from any car, try to make yourself a mark, because this is a balanced shaft. So what I did is, let me see if you guys can see it. So I make with a chisel just a mark here and then a mark here. I did the same thing in the back, as you can see here. This one, I think I'm gonna have to remove it here, bring it down, and this is kind of like a CV joint, a CV boot style that's inside. So I'm gonna put that inside the bag, so make sure, you know, everything is with the grease and everything inside is gonna stay protected. That's as much as I have done. So again, I'm just trying to keep you guys posted as much as on the removing. All right, I got the shaft out. I want to show you how this look and how I did to take it out. So this is the shaft for the propeller shaft for the back. So this actually comes kind of like sealed, but you have to remove the bolts that I showed you before. So what I did in order to remove the one on the transfer case is, you can just, like right here, this is the part of the transfer case, you can just put a screwdriver here and pry it out. This side is a little bit more tricky because it's kind of like inside this coupling. And what I did is I just used a hammer with a chisel, kind of like, you know, like pointing this way, hit it, and then move it around. I got a helper with me, so he was holding the shaft while also spinning it, and I was here until I got it out. Not a big deal, at least with this new one. I got also the hoses from the tap. That's all the gasoline and canister, evap canister disconnected. So right now I think I'm almost ready to start with the body. I'm going to remove this shaft as well here. No matter what, this is a damaged one. I was going to leave it in there and then take it off later, but might as well just do it now. It's gonna be easy. I mean, when I remove this, it's not gonna be that bad either. I have to think on how I'm going to do with the shifter, because this is a manual transmission. So I have to probably disconnect the clutch pump from here, and most likely the cable for the transfer case as well. That's probably just gonna stay up in the, you know, up with the body. So I'm gonna do that too as well too. All right, let me keep going. All right, I got the auxiliary, the secondary pump for the clutch out. Let me show you. That's the one. Those are just 13 millimeter. I'm gonna leave those in there so I don't have to look for them later. I also have the transfer case cable disconnected. It's pretty simple. Let me see if I can make this focus in there. So this pin, when my finger is, all I did is just put a screwdriver on the back and then pry it out. It was very easy. This blue clip, let's call that clip, all I did was with a needle nose plier, just push in both sides, like where these stops are, and just wiggle it in. It came out. So that was easy. So now we got more room. Everything so far so good. So let's keep going. Now I got the muffler out, the canister out too. Let me show you. The canister is held by three 16 millimeter. I'm talking about the head of the bolt. So 16 millimeter. It has one electrical connector right here. That is for like the bent valve, and then this type of press fittings to release all the hoses. So all you gotta do is just press in here. I usually, just press it with a screwdriver first to kind of like release any dirt or whatever is in there, and then take it off. This was the one that was going over to like the filling for the tank. All you gotta do is in this one is just wiggle it and push this like that way so it goes out. Same thing is in here. It's a same kind of a press in. Let me show you on the car. So we have this one in here, right here. So I just press it in, wiggle it out. I removed the other one that is on the canister right now, the other hose from here. These connectors in here for the differential. It has the same thing as in the front. It has two sensors or two wiring going to it. Yellow with the red and then blue with the, sorry, I forgot that you guys are not looking at what I'm looking with my eyes. So it's again a yellow with a red and a blue with a yellow, and the other wire is yellow and black. So those are just the two connectors that I got there, and of course the one for the canister, which is this one. It's a little bit different of a connector look, but it's the same scenario, just push and release. Usually what I do is I push in, press the tap, and then out. That it works very good. Kind of like releases the dust that is on the wiring or on the connector. Let me just lay down on the tank for now. This no matter what, that's gonna stay with the frame part, so that's not gonna be a problem. I took all the muffler out. Yeah, all the bolts for the catalytic converters, they just snapped. They were just too weak. Only one, sorry, one came out. The one on the passenger side, one came out, the other one completely broke, as you can see right there. Just young, too weak, too small. Okay, I'm going to lower the car now and see what I got to do with that shifter. That's the only thing that I have a concern right now, because I don't really want to raise up the body as much as that shifter is in there. I mean, it has to be able to remove, so let me see how hard or how easy it is to get that done. I decided to remove the brake lines, the ones I need to remove in order to get that out. So what I need to remove are these center ones, these upper ones, and the lower ones, this one and the one on the other side. One thing to notice is, as you can see, this one is lower, this one is higher, and on the other side, the ones I'm going to remove, this one is higher and that one is lower. It's kind of like so you don't mess it around. These ones stay with the ABS module and pump in there, because those are just attached to the brake, to the master cylinder. So I'm going to remove this. Probably gotta see what else, some wirings I need to remove. I don't think on this side I need to do anything. Battery connections. This main harness goes to the engine, so I guess this has to be removed as well. I'm going to remove the battery and probably the battery tray as well. I'll be showing that too. And I'm going to leave that shifter for last.